Hello and happy spring. I am excited to be on here for a video that's not a vlog. We're just going to go through the books that I picked out to read this spring, and I'm really excited because I'm excited about the books that I have picked out. So I hope you will be excited to hear them as well, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts about them. So let's get into it. Okay, so spring is usually one of my more prolific reading seasons. It's just the vibes are right. I like reading on my porch, and I can finally do that after winter. However, this spring, I am trying to graduate and get my PhD, and so the next few months may not be as ambitious in the reading world as 2026 has been thus far. So far, I've been averaging like 7 books a month, and like half of those have been physical books. So, what I decided to do is just pick out 3 physical books per month for the next few months. So, I picked out 9 books to add to my spring TBR. Okay, so the first thing I did was I picked out a few Aardvark book box picks. I just keep buying them, and so I need to be reading them. So I picked out 3 Aardvark book box picks that I think I will want to read in the spring. I'm currently reading an Aardvark book box pick. Fun fact: I'm reading Girl Dinner right now, and I'm like halfway through that and love it. So Aardvark book box picks just never really miss. And so I'm excited about the few that I picked out. So the first one I picked out is Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. And this book is about basically this like influencer, like Tradwife influencer, and they're having like marriage problems, her and her husband. Basically, she thinks a baby could help solve her life problems. And so she gets knocked up by a demon. And I just think it sounds so fun. This is the kind of book by Aardvark that I eat up, the weird, feminine sort of horror, but also just like wacky books. And Aardvark is full of them. So if this is up your alley, check out Aardvark Book Box. Not sponsored. I pay my money for that, but they just got solid book picks like that. And I'm excited to read this one. I've heard really good things about it. The second book that I picked out, also from Aardvark Book Box, is Itch. I picked this one out a few months ago, but it's a folk horror, which I vibe with because I read The Lamb last year, and it was one of my favorite reads last year. And it's also considered folk horror, but this has to do with insects and dead people. Basically, the main character in this stumbles upon like a dead body and then is also having this problem with an infestation, and so trying to figure out if those things are related and what they all mean. And this is also just the type of weird horror that I eat up. And so this is on my TBR for the spring for that reason. The last Aardvark book box book that I picked out for this month is Whidbey, and I have heard nothing but fantastic things about this book, and I'm so glad that I picked it out last month. I think the blurb in this kind of describes it the best. There's a short one. It just says, a portrait of 3 women connected through one man in the aftermath of his murder. A stunning literary achievement and the explosive, highly anticipated debut novel from beloved award-winning memoirist T. Kira Madden. Basically, these 3 women are all connected through this man. This man was an abuser to 2 of the women and is the son of the other one. And so it gives me the same sort of vibes on like Notes on an Execution, where you're hearing the point of view of the women around this kind of awful man, but then he's murdered, and so you're also kind of, I don't know, I feel like you're giving opposing feelings about this man. And it's just a lot to grapple with. I think it's going to be a really, really good read. It says it reads like a thriller, but it's kind of like a mystery. And basically it literary thriller vibes, which I loved God of the Woods, and I would say that's also literary thriller-ish. So yeah, I think this is gonna do it for me. So I'm excited about it. That's all my Aardvark book box books that I plan on reading. But if I buy new ones and decide that those jump the line, please don't judge me. I can't get enough of that book box. I think it's fantastic. Anyway, the fourth book that I picked out for my spring TBR is Conform. I was actually gifted this for Christmas and I hadn't heard of it, but it sounds so interesting. So it's like a fantasy where the um in this world they are like given mates basically, and like chosen partners, but there's also a rebellion happening in this world, and the female main character is kind of has her eye on someone that's in the rebellion, and so it gives like love triangle fantasy vibes. um that's the gist of it that I've gotten, and it also has fantastic reviews, so I think that I just want to read this soon. I like reading fantasy-y stuff in the spring, so you'll see that a few of my the books that I have picked out are within that realm. And this is just one that I want to read. When I'm gifted books, I try to read them sooner than later just so I can talk to the gifter about the book. And so I just want to read this sooner than later so that I can talk to her about it. So, yes, this is book number 4. All right, book number 5 is one that I picked out because I've owned it for a really long time and I just need to read it. And it is The 3 Lives of Kate K. This is, I'll read the little thingy. It says, in this propulsive and keenly observant debut novel, an anonymous best-selling author reveals the secrets from her past and why she's been on the run. So basically, Kate K is an author, and she doesn't really exist. Her real identity has been like a secret, and so she is living like a separate life. And the concept sounds great. I just haven't picked it up. Don't know why, but I need to. And so it's on my TBR for the spring. So fingers crossed we get to it. It's also pretty short, so I don't know why I haven't just picked it up, because it sounds like it would keep my interest and be a pretty snappy quick read, but I don't know. So it's on my TBR for spring. This next book is one that I've also owned for a really long time, but I feel like I need to read it in the spring because of the title. It's The Unmaking of June Farrow, and I know June is a name. However, because it's in the title, my brain says, read it in June. And so I'm probably going to read it in June. This is an Adrienne Young book. It says a woman risks everything to end her family's century-old curse, solve her mother's disappearance, and find love in this mesmerizing novel from New York Times bestseller of Spells for Forgetting. Basically, I own this because I really think I'm going to like Adrienne Young novels, but I have not read one. And so I want to read this before I buy more. I just need to buckle up and read one of her books to know if I actually like her as an author, like I think I will. So yeah, I need to read this. It's also just been on my shelf way too long. So kind of like The 3 Lives of Kate K. It's just we got to do it. Because if I don't read this spring, it's going to get pushed off till next spring. And I know that. I know myself. 3 books to go. This next one is one that I've had my eye on reading for a while. And every time I go to read it, I get like a library hold or a new release that I pick up and want to read right away. And so it just keeps getting like put on the back burner on accident. But it is Private Rights by Julia Armfield. I read Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield and loved it. This is about, like, I think it's sisters that come together after their, like, a parent dies. Yes, sisters brought together after their dad dies. But it's set in like a very like rainy, atmospheric kind of location, and I think that is going to fit well with spring vibes for me. So I plan on reading this soon. It's one that I've had my eye on reading for a couple months now, and yeah, I just need to get around to it. We've got 2 books left, and they are by the same author. I'm really excited about these, and I've been waiting to read them in the spring. The first is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I've also owned this way too long, but have wanted to read it in the spring, and then spring's gone, and then I'm like, yep, next spring, I'll get around to it. So we're doing it this spring because I really think that I'm going to vibe with these books. I think that I'm going to enjoy how they're written and the like light sort of cozy fantasy aspect of them. So yeah, going to read this one, and then if I like this, I will probably pick up the sequel to this to be able to read it. I like reading sequels back to back or like close to each other if I can, if they're out. And so that's sort of my plan for this. But I don't own the sequel, so that's not what my 9th book picked out is. The 9th book that I picked out for the spring is Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. Yeah, that's right. And I low-key got swindled into buying this when I was at my local bookstore last time because it had just come out and I didn't know it. But this cover is absolutely stunning. I love when the design is actually on the hard cover. I just think that that's nice. I don't care for a dust jacket. It doesn't really matter to me. But doing it like this is genius. So more books should be like this, in my opinion. Anyway, this was beautiful, and I love cats. I have 2, and they're my world. And so the idea of reading about like a cozy fantasy about a cat shelter sounds fantastic. And I think just the cozy fantasy vibes of the Encyclopedia of Fairies and sort of going from that into this might be really nice. So that's why I added it to my TBR for the spring. All right, that wraps up my spring TBR. I was really excited to just come on here and share those books with you and do a shorter video like this. Hopefully you like this too. If you did, let me know, and I can try to do some more like this, just chatty little videos, because I like talking. And so this is not a problem for me. So if you like this, let me know, and I can try to do more of that. Also, let me know if you liked or have read any of the books that I have picked out and what your thoughts were. I love hearing people's thoughts on books and what they liked and what they didn't like. So if you have any info, let me know, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. All right, happy spring. See you guys.